Hey guys, Semphis here. We're just starting off the video with a morning walk. My girlfriend, there she is. Basically, I just kind of will get all my food going, and then I kind of just walk around the block. It's like takes 10-15 minutes. It's just kind of good for you, gets your digestion going and stuff. So if you have a problem eating a ton of food, or even you just want to delay your food, for example, you're dieting and you're really like, maybe you're hungry in the morning, or you feel like you run out of meals, just go for a walk in the morning. Try and delay your day, like try to delay your first meal as much as possible. Or if you can't eat enough, going for a walk or doing a little bit of cardio can actually help you eat more for the rest of the day. So yeah, it's just good for your heart as well. So I try to consistently do these walks every day. It's not always in the morning, but I find the morning's like a pretty easy time to do it. So yeah, I live in a pretty like kind of nice area to just kind of walk, some trees and stuff. So anyways, show you my meal next. All right, boys, here we are with meal one. This is my breakfast. So we got 90 carbs from oats, blueberries, a little bit of blackberries, 10 fats with almond butter, some cinnamon, and obviously this amazing low-calorie syrup. We have 60 grams of protein from the chicken, some mustard, got a little bit of an iced coffee from yesterday I didn't finish, got my greens. You should eat your greens. I know that I'm not the best example, but try to get them in your body somehow. Rectally is fine as well. No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, then you can do like these little lemon shots. They're not bad in the morning for your digestion. And here's my first meal. So. All right, boys, I got my little tripod out. So I'm going to try and show you guys how I make my pre-workout and my intra-workout. This isn't anything like crazy or anything. I'm just going to try to put this over here so you guys can see a little bit. Essentially what I use is this Orange Crush PVL EAAs. So all I do is I get one of these big bottles of water, 1.5 liters. And I think this is really good for people that have like maybe longer workouts. So put the funnel in the top. And then I just use like 20 grams of stuff. It's like around 10 grams of protein or so. I always measure everything out. You can go by the scoops if you want, but I'm a little bit like, find it hard to do that. I need to have my exact measurements, or else I feel like I'm going crazy a little bit. So I'll put that in there. So 22 grams, I'm 2 grams over. I don't really care, if I'm a tiny bit over. It's not really a huge deal for me. Try to get that up a little bit. Sorry. I know there's the angles are not the greatest. So I basically put that in there. Then what I'll do is I have this raspberry lemonade powder. I actually don't really like this one, but I'm out of the Gatorade powder that I normally use, so it'll have to do. So I put 25 grams in there. That's how much my coach gives me for my intra-workout. So we got 25 grams in there. And now something that a lot of people probably don't think of is you can actually add a little bit of baking soda if you want better pumps. Just put a little bit in there. That's probably like, 500 milligrams of sodium, maybe a gram. But it'll just kind of help you like absorb the water and stuff. Like you can't get glycogen and water to the muscle as efficiently if you're not well hydrated. So sodium actually hydrates you. Just quick tip. And then before I go to the gym, which will be in about an hour, I just basically take this and we just throw it in the freezer. Nothing crazy. And as you can see, my pre-workout is waiting for me in the freezer there. And now I'm going to make my pre-workout. So the pre-workout is 2 scoops is 300 milligrams of caffeine. So to me, that's about a good dose. I don't really like going much above 350. And the beauty of this is it has 8 grams of citrulline. So that's kind of like just where I draw the line. I want about 8 to 12 grams of citrulline, and that to me gives me like really sick pumps. So that's 2 scoops in there. I just add the water. And again, I'll throw a lot of things just in the freezer or even blend them a little bit, And basically, I like everything to be really cold. So I'll just kind of mix that up. And once again, we'll throw it in the freezer. If that's not a trend that you're noticing, because I just think whenever you have these artificial flavors, and that kind of stuff, I just feel like they taste better when they're cold, you know? So I like everything tasting good, especially when I'm dieting. If I'm like off season or like really pushing food, then I'm just gonna kind of eat whatever I want and maybe not spend as much time. But when you're dieting, like even something like your pre-workout, it can taste pretty good if you find a good one, you know? So I like to kind of make it taste as good as possible, which it needs to be as cold as possible for me. So yeah, it's about 10 grams of EAAs, 25 grams of carbs in the drink, plus the pre-workout. And then, then I go to the gym, and probably 40 minutes after I consume the pre-workout and the intra workout, I try to start sipping it right before I get to the gym. And my coach basically told me to finish it as I'm leaving the gym. So once it gets to half, I'll usually refill it with another half of water to dilute it even more. Otherwise, I've been going low blood sugar after the gym. I've been having issues where like my hands will get shaky and that kind of stuff. So that's helped me avoid it. If you're using intra as your first meal of the day, like you haven't ate anything and you have nothing in you, or you've gone a long time since eating, because I eat and then I go to the gym pretty soon after. If you're one of those people that you have long periods of time before, after you've eaten or you just woke up, I really suggest drinking half of it before you get to the gym and finishing it halfway through your workout. So say you're training fasted, maybe you have 50 carbs and 10 or 20 grams of EAAs or something. Finish half of it before you get to the gym, so it's getting in you. You know, the carbs are getting into your muscles, ready for your workout. If you start sipping it on your first exercise, you're not really utilizing it as efficiently as you could. So that's just like a kind of a pro tip if you need to train in the morning, which I prefer not to. I feel like a lot weaker in the morning, but sometimes you have to, right? So that would be my trick. So, all right, it's time to get the pre-workout meal from the freezer. So this is essentially, let's see if you guys can see that. I have a hard time pointing the camera. Let me just reverse that. So this is 135 carbs, 95 from the cream of rice, 25 from banana, and then I was actually using some of this. It's a peanut butter flavored powder, and there's basically no fat in it. It's just like a little bit of sugar. And it actually tastes pretty good. The caramel one is better in my opinion, but I ran out. So I just kind of used that. A little bit of sugar pre-workout is not going to kill you, I promise. It actually helps. So yeah, I'm just going to get that down. And then I'll probably drink my pre-workout and go to the gym within like an hour-ish. All right, boys, so now walking to the gym. It's about like an 8 to 10 minute walk. I just try to walk as much as I can, really. Even if you are trying to gain weight or whatever, I still think it's a good idea just to walk. That's good for your heart, that kind of stuff, nothing crazy. But yeah, it's just kind of where I live, and to be honest, it's not a bad idea to walk to the gym if you live close enough as well, just because it lets you get a little bit warmer. I personally feel like if I drive there with my girlfriend, like it's not like my workouts are worse. It just feels like I'm not quite as warm at the start, and I don't do a whole ton of warm-ups, if I'm being honest. So I think the walking there really helps get the blood flowing as well. So at the end of the day, I just think like if you can just add some walking into your life in general, like let's say you live close to a grocery store and you, instead of driving there, you just walk there, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes each way. It's like 30 minutes. You put on a podcast, you have your headphones or whatever. It's not that bad. It doesn't really feel like you're doing anything. And, if you can get your steps up to anywhere between like 6 to 10,000, I feel like you're going to be able to eat a little bit more food, right? And I think when you diet, one of the reasons people fall off their diet is just the lack of food. So I actually like to move more, and I find walking doesn't make me as hungry. If I do HIIT cardio or jogging or anything like that, I feel like it kind of ramps up my hunger for the rest of the day. which can kind of like negatively obviously affect your mental state. And back when I was on C9 and my calories were really low, I used to run a lot and I was hungry all the time. Obviously my food's a lot higher now that I'm bigger, I have more muscle, you know. I'm like a lean 230 right now. There's a bee. Can you go away? Thank you. I'm like a leanish, you know, 9%. My coach said I'm around 9%, maybe a little bit under right now. So taking that in consideration, you know, being 230 pounds, 9% body fat-ish, your metabolism and the way that you can get to food changes a lot, right? Because I could never eat this much before. Like, people might see my carbs, oh, he's dieting on 500 grams of carbs or something, and it's like, yeah, but this is like 7 years, you know, work to get to this point. And I have a lot more mass, and I'm very active. You know, I walk every day, I do HIIT cardio, I'm gymming 5 days a week, you know, so I'm very strict with my diet. So when you compare your food to my food, you got to remember, you know, when I first lost weight, I was on 1,800 calories, you know, doing an hour of cardio a day and gymming. So, and to be honest, it was too low, you know, like, it was definitely too low of calories and it should have been a little bit higher. But my point is that I didn't start here. So whenever you look at, you know, me, pro bodybuilders, influencers you follow, you got to remember, like, you're seeing their later stages usually. Obviously you can follow some people that are just starting out, and that's great. But a lot of us that you see putting out content, we only do it once we've hit a certain level, you know. So it might take you, you know, 2 or 3 years, 5 years, 8 years, you know, to get to whatever goal you set. You know, if you're small, like, no offense, but you're starting out and you want to look like Ronnie Coleman, that's like, you know, 10, 15 years of work, plus the other things that aren't so healthy that go along with it, right? So if you just want to have abs to the beach, maybe it only take you 6 months to 2 years, depending on your starting point, right? So you just got to be realistic with yourself of like where you're at for everything, you know, what kind of body you want, what kind of diet you want. Me personally, I've never wanted to just stay lean year round and just eat no food for the rest of my life, you know. I don't really care what I eat, I just like eating a lot of food. So whether that's popcorn, pretzels, chips, like rice, I usually just want more of what I'm eating. So I don't actually have huge cravings when I'm dieting for, let's say, pizza. A lot of the times I'll just want double the rice I'm eating, or maybe more almond butter in my oatmeal or something like that, you know. It's just like I want more of what I'm eating. And if you stay really lean and you don't have a lot of muscle, you pretty much are capped on those calories for the rest of your life. So let's say you weigh 160 pounds at like 5'10", and you got lean and you're lean, you have abs. That's great. If that's what you want to look like, that's awesome. I'm happy for you, but you're never going to be able to eat more. You're always going to have to do cardio every single day that you normally do for the rest of your life to maintain that. So I always think it's good to add some mass, even if you don't care, you know, even if you don't care about being muscular, you know, putting some mass, some muscle, you know, 20 pounds on, you know, 20 being, it's going to take a little while, but to just let you eat a little bit more food and just get away with a little bit more. And I think for most people, that's probably the goal, right? Like, you know, how many of you want to eat 2,000 calories as a, you know, fairly large male, you know? Not many of us. I think most people would be happier around the 25, 3,000 mark. You can fit a little bit more in there. It doesn't feel so restricted. For me, you know, 3,000 calories is pretty good. Like, I'm a little bit happier at 3,500, but when I was, you know, smaller, you know, 2,000 was pretty tough, and 27 was like a good spot. So everyone's a little bit different, you know. My carbs being low is going to feel different than your carbs being low, you know. So like for me, if I'm on 200 carbs, I feel like I'm dying. Whereas if you're smaller than me, maybe that's 100 carbs or 50 carbs before you feel that way. You know, So yeah, I'm at the gym now. It's just a little talk. Sorry? Oh yeah, all yours. I'm not using anything. Walking back home from the gym, got my iced coffee. Got 4 shots of the vanilla-free one. I haven't really got a Starbucks in a while, and I was just kind of craving it today. I think I'm gonna do one of my CS:GO videos, so a little bit of caffeine to keep me going. Still a tiny bit jet lagged, but like nothing bad. But I feel like I'm getting a lot tired, or more tired, I should say, in the evening than I normally would. So yeah. Like I said, I only live like 8 minutes away from the gym, so it's pretty easy to walk. Had a pretty good back session. Ended up chatting for probably a little bit too long, which is common for me. I talk too much. So now I'm behind on all my food, and I got a little bit of work to do. Yeah, just gonna try to keep this content rolling. Tell me what you guys like or don't like, because I know I ramble a little bit. There's the King Kebab. I've never ate there, but I'm sure it's great. All right, boys, we got our post-workout here. So I got a Starbucks black cold brew with 4 sugar-free vanillas shots in there. Got 60 grams of protein, 75 carbs from this Mexican rice, which is really good. I'm pretty sure all of you guys can find it. It's like just Uncle Ben's brand. 35 carbs from Fruity Pebbles, 25 carbs from banana, some almond milk, and a Diet Coke. So that is my post-workout meal. It's 135 carbs, 60 protein, and 0 fat, like 1 gram of fat, or whatever is in the chicken. Your chicken always has a tiny bit of fat in it, but I mean, it's whatever. It's not something you should ever worry about. I wouldn't even bother calculating it personally. So I'm gonna eat this, and then yeah, I'm gonna finish up some of the other stuff I got to do. All right, boys, meal 4 here. Same as my 90 carbs, so 75 from the Mexican rice, some asparagus in there, some 90-10 bison, 46 grams of protein from that, and then I strain it to get rid of some of the fat. 15 carbs from orange juice, 14 protein just to make up for the bison. I do 46 grams of protein and then just 14 from the drink. Mostly just because the bison, when I buy them in the packs, it seems like when I use a little bit more, it runs out at like uneven amounts. So I just was like, whatever, I'm just going to start using a little bit less and just do like 14 grams of protein from here. I don't think it's a huge deal. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Got the Diet Coke. This is one of my favorite meals. Sometimes I put a little bit of sometimes I'll put a little bit of low sugar-free ketchup. If you haven't had this stuff is amazing, honestly, but I don't always use it. I just kind of go by feel of like, basically the way I work is like, if I feel like I want it to taste a little bit better, I will, and if not, if I don't really care, I'll just eat it normally. All right, boys, we got the last meal of the night. Oh, what's that? Shrimp and oatmeal. Pretty much the same as my breakfast, just this is shrimp instead of chicken. I put a little bit of this sugar-free Carolina style barbecue sauce on it. It's pretty decent. I just use a tiny bit. And then I guess I should also show you, I do this before bed. Got a little bit of THC drops. I honestly don't really know how much I take. I just kind of squirt some in my mouth. And then after I'm done this meal, a little bit sleepy, and hopefully be able to pass out. So yeah, so that's pretty much my day. Pretty exciting.